buenas tardes. Antes de conectar con México y Estados Unidos, repasamos como todos los días las noticias más importantes. Abengoa ha presentado formalmente la petición de rescate a la Sociedad Estatal de Participaciones Industriales, SEPI, para inyectar 249 millones a su filial Abeneco 1, que tiene todos los activos productivos de la compañía. Para sellar la ayuda financiera pública, la compañía sevillana contará con el apoyo del Fondo Terramar Capital LLC, que inyectará 200 millones a cambio de quedarse con el 70% de la capital de filial al final del proceso de refinanciación. Según ha informado la compañía a la Comisión Nacional del Mercado de Valores, la empresa finalmente se ha abierto a solicitar ayuda al Fondo de Apoyo a la Solvencia de Empresas Estratégicas, creado por el Gobierno para ayudar a compañías impactadas por la pandemia y dotado con 10.000 millones de euros. Los propietarios que rebajen un 10% la renta del contrato en el alquiler de su vivienda en zonas tensionadas tendrán derecho a una reducción del 90% sobre el rendimiento neto en su declaración del IRPF, según se recoge en la propuesta de ley de vivienda del Ministerio de Movilidad, Transportes y Agenda Urbana, a la que ha tenido acceso Europa Press. Así, según explica el Ministerio en el documento, si un propietario que tenía un contrato de arrendamiento de 700 euros al mes firma un nuevo por 630 euros, tendrá derecho a un beneficio fiscal en el IRPF de cerca de 950 euros al año. La deuda pública española no para de crecer y se sitúa en máximos de 118 años tras superar el 117% del Producto Interior Bruto. Cierra en enero con un nuevo récord del 1,31 billones de euros. La deuda del conjunto de las administraciones públicas arrancó el año con una nueva subida hasta situarse en 1,314 billones de euros. Son 3.307 millones más que en diciembre del 2020. Y el déficit de la balanza comercial se reduce hasta los 1.769 millones de euros en enero, un 49,6% menos que en el mismo periodo del 2020, en un arranque de año en el que cayeron tanto las exportaciones como las importaciones, lastradas por el impacto de la pandemia en la economía. Según los datos del Ministerio de Industria, Comercio y Turismo, la venta de mercancías españolas al exterior cayó un 11,4% por debajo de los 20.500 millones. Funca rebaja 4 décimas su previsión de crecimiento del PIB para 2021 hasta el 5,9% por el deterioro de las expectativas en los últimos meses y los indicadores poco alentadores que se han conocido desde el inicio del año. El consenso espera ahora una contracción de la economía del 0,4% en el primer trimestre frente al 0,5% estimado en el anterior panel. Y el coste laboral modera su caída al 0,1% a cierre del 2020 y encadena 3 trimestres de descensos. El coste laboral medio por trabajador y mes, que incluye las remuneraciones y las cotizaciones sociales, bajó un 0,1% en el cuarto trimestre del 2020 en relación al mismo periodo del 2019. Y es hora ya de conectar con México con nuestro compañero José Ricardo Rangel. José Ricardo, ¿qué tal? Buenas tardes.
¿Qué tal, Manuel? ¿Qué tal, amigos de España? ¿Cómo estamos? Pues rapidísimo con las breves. Hoy sí tenemos mercado y está operando en primeros terreno negativo. Les comparto rápidamente la imagen de la pantalla. Lo está liderando principalmente lo que son estas empresas que gestionan la parte aeroportuaria, sobre todo en el sureste del país. Son la parte de gestoras de aeropuertos de México, y las principales bajas las estamos teniendo en el sector de retail, lo que es Walmex, y también en el sector financiero, como lo es Banbajío. Podemos observar que pues es el primer día que tiene una contracción en el índice nacional de precios y cotizaciones. Aquí estamos teniendo el NAFTRAC, que es un ETF que está indexado precisamente al comportamiento del índice de precios y cotizaciones aquí en México, y podemos ver aquí un deterioro. Ya podemos ver próximamente un ligero ajuste por frecuencias relativas a 14 días. Entonces, pues estas son las breves del mercado y vámonos ahora sí, mi querido Manuel, con nuestro invitado, por favor.
Gerardo Herrera, muy buenas tardes, ¿qué tal?
Manuel, un gran saludo desde este lado de charco. Buenos días en México, buenas tardes en España.
Muy buenas tardes. Bueno, hoy vamos a hablar de la reforma energética en México. ¿En qué consiste la reforma eléctrica del actual gobierno mexicano?
Ok, en pocas palabras consiste en dar preferencia al proveedor de energía eléctrica estatal, la Comisión Federal de Electricidad, en perjuicio de los proveedores privados. ¿Sí? Una ley que tiene mucha complejidad, etcétera, pero fundamentalmente es eso. Ya existía una ley aprobada hace unos años que abría el espacio de proveedores de energía eléctrica a competencia y en competencia incluso internacional. Por ejemplo, tenemos el caso de la española Iberdrola. La compañía de Bilbao entró a México precisamente para aprovechar ese espacio. ¿Sí? Y bueno, pues este era el estatus vigente, que había libre competencia, porque además la Constitución de México garantiza la libre competencia. La reforma que se pasó en las últimas semanas es una reforma entre extrema y radical, que un poco pues echa para atrás todo eso para dar preferencia a la compañía estatal y claramente pues, se ve en perjuicio de los proveedores extranjeros o de los proveedores privados en general, los cuales, Manuel, pues obviamente tú no te pones a proveer energía eléctrica de un día para otro. Han realizado inversiones muy importantes y este fenómeno ya trae desde hace un año, año y medio, desde que empezó esta administración. De hecho, puedo comentar que Iberdrola, ya anteriormente a esta reforma, había cancelado una inversión de $1,000 millones en México ante este clima incierto. En estos momentos esta ley ya aprobada, promulgada, pero que la ley mexicana contempla lo que se llama un recurso de suspensión. Los privados o aquellos perjudicados por una acción de la autoridad, del gobierno, pueden ir con un juez y pedir una suspensión en lo que se dirime, se desfogan los argumentos a favor y en contra. Entonces, una suspensión no es una anulación de la ley. Sí, quiero dejar eso muy claro. No la están echando para atrás, pero significa que como hay una querella de alguien que se siente perjudicado contra esta ley, pues se suspende provisionalmente la aplicación de la ley. Entonces, en estos momentos suman ya más de 20 suspensiones en cuestiones de unos cuantos días, han sido 4 o 5 días, y ya hay más de unos 20 suspensiones. La reacción del actual gobierno, el actual presidente, ha sido muy negativa, sentirse pues un poco como que agredido por la rapidez de estas suspensiones, y fundamentalmente está de un lado el gobierno y de otro lado empresas privadas que proveen energía eléctrica. Para que se entienda un poco por qué la controversia, la ley anterior establecía que se tenía que comprar la energía eléctrica al que ofreciera esta energía al menor costo, preservando los intereses del consumidor final. Con la nueva ley, el derecho de despacho, así se le llama, o sea, el derecho de comprarlo, favorece a la Comisión Federal de Electricidad, que es la del gobierno, que produce energía eléctrica fundamentalmente con energías fósiles, ¿sí? Con hidrocarburos, mientras que la mayor parte de los privados justamente estaban siendo más baratos porque producían energía eléctrica con energías limpias. Entonces vemos que no es solo una cuestión de a quién le compramos, si al gobierno o a las privadas, es una cuestión de reforma energética profunda, ir moviendo la provisión de energía eléctrica en el país de energías basadas en hidrocarburos a energías limpias, ¿sí? Que además serán más baratas.
Gerardo, ¿es Iberdrola la única compañía española que tenemos detectada que está siendo afectada por esta reforma eléctrica?
No, hay varias compañías. Hay varias compañías, también me viene a la mente Gas Penosa, por ejemplo, pero la Iberdrola ha sido la más reconocida, sí, porque además ha habido, podríamos decir que desencuentros muy personalizados hacia Iberdrola por una cuestión donde se mezclan negocios y política. Uno de los expresidentes mexicanos, Felipe Calderón Hinojosa, que fue el primer contendiente por la presidencia que se enfrentó al actual presidente Andrés Manuel López Obrador en el año 2000, era miembro del Consejo de Iberdrola, ¿sí? Entonces, obviamente ahí ya se mezcla economía y política. El actual presidente pues parece que lo siente un poco personalizado. Entonces ha habido desencuentros muy precisos y, por ejemplo, el director general del presidente de Iberdrola, Ignacio Sánchez Galán, sí ha indicado de que se están perjudicando el marco legal, de que se está perjudicando a los accionistas. Entonces, yo no dudo que Iberdrola seguirá siendo uno de los protagonistas de este encuentro. Creo que lo más importante de recordar aquí es que aunque se emitió una ley que a la luz de muchos expertos jurídicos viola incluso la Constitución mexicana, que prevalece o que consagra el derecho a competencia, ¿sí? Entonces, que esta ley lo viola, y por eso fue tan fácil que dieran las suspensiones los jueces, porque si hay un argumento para desahogar argumentos entre una parte y otra. Aunque esta ley se promulgó, hay recursos legales para proceder, y las empresas privadas los están utilizando, y no dudo que veremos a Iberdrola. Incluso se habla de que Iberdrola podría recurrir a arbitraje internacional, ¿sí? Para proteger sus inversiones en México.
Bueno, pues habrá que estar muy al pendiente, mi estimado Gerardo, a estos recursos que se estén interponiendo, y sobre todo, pues, la certeza que necesitan los inversionistas a nivel internacional y nacional para poder sacar estos proyectos y trascender estas energías limpias que tanto necesitamos. El planeta a veces no puede esperar tanto, ¿no? Gerardo Herrera, director de Comunicaciones de RiskMathics Financial, muchísimas gracias. Manuel, ¿tienes alguna otra pregunta?
José Ricardo, muchas gracias. Gerardo, gracias a los dos. Buenas tardes.
Muchas gracias.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Bueno, pues vemos ahora la entrevista que ha hecho nuestra corresponsal en Estados Unidos, Bisila Bokoko, donde habla de la industria de la restauración y los desafíos para las mujeres restauradoras. Vemos esa entrevista, pero nosotros nos despedimos hasta mañana. No se pierdan a las 7 Off the Record, y a las 7:30 les vamos a ofrecer en directo aquí en Negocios Televisión la rueda de prensa que va a dar el presidente de la Reserva Federal. Buenas tardes. Adiós.
Welcome to Global Vision, and today I'm super happy to welcome here with us Sandra Cordero, who also has an Spanish background, and I think that she will tell us a little bit about it. But before we do that, I would love to just welcome you into Global Vision.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Well, I would love to know a little bit about you, and the question is, who is Sandra Cordero? It's a tough one, huh?
Well, I was born and raised in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, but my dad's from Spain, from Galicia, La Coruña. So I would go in a lot of my summers, I would spend in Spain, and my mom would put me on the bus on one side, and 34 hours later, I would arrive in Spain, and my uncle and aunt would pick me up, and then I would spend my summer there with my family in La Coruña, but also in a small village called Bazar, close to Santa Comba. Yeah.
Wow. And tell us, how did you end up becoming a chef?
Ooh, my road to becoming a chef was not a super quick one. It was not something I knew when I was 10, like I want to be a chef, because I think at that age, I didn't also have a lot of role models that were chefs. So I did all like to cook when I was little, and I did always like to make parties for the school or for, myself. My birthday was always a big party, and I would cook and organize fun activities and whatnot since I was young. And then I started working in restaurants when I was 15. I just as a server in Amsterdam, and I worked at 3 different restaurants. And then I just loved it. I loved hospitality. I loved, people coming in and welcoming and taking care of them, and good food and all of that. It was just, I always really enjoyed it. So I decided, like around 18, I think, that one day I'm going to have my own place. But, it took a while to get there, obviously.
How long it took?
I traveled a lot. Yeah. But yeah, so finally, I traveled a lot in my 20s, lived in Paris, London, Tokyo, and then I ended up in New York, and then started working back in restaurants again in New York when I got there. And then I moved to LA to help open a restaurant here, because by then I had some experience, and they asked me to consult on a place. And I had a lot of problems with the chefs.
Why?
Well, you know, a lot of chefs, I think it's changing, but I think a lot of chefs have big egos and they're hard to deal with. And I think, especially as a woman, telling them like do this or that, it can still be challenging for a lot of men to have a woman above them,
Mhm.
and especially in this industry. So I had to fire some, and they, you know, there was always. So I was like, okay, I have to go into the kitchen and learn everything from the kitchen before I have my own place, because then I know what to do. So I quit being a GM for 30 people and started chopping onions, working under some really great chefs here in Los Angeles. And then once I got into the kitchen, I was like, oh, this is my home. I love it. You know, this
You
is.
love it, yeah. What do you love about being in the kitchen?
Mhm. Just it's I love the excitement of it's like the we prep in the afternoon and get ready, and then we all eat together. Ideally, we have a staff meal, and then we open, and it's like curtain call. It's like the show, it's like time to perform, and I always love to perform too. So it has that connection, and yeah, then it's showtime, and every plate has to go out perfect and delicious and beautiful, and the server has to, and everything. It's like a dance, it's like a choreography when it goes well. It's
Beautiful.
beautiful, yeah. And there's a lot of fires to put out in the meantime, and I like those challenges too. So yeah, but I like that excitement of the push having to perform.
Wonderful. And
Mhm.
tell me, how did you jump into become also a restaurant owner? Because it's not that's entrepreneurship. So you
Yeah,
put together both.
yes, I did. Which I think was always the goal. So I became a chef to support my entrepreneurial, mind, I guess. And I, yeah, I was always very bossy, So and as a little girl, you're told like you're too bossy. It's not good to be bossy, But I always love telling people what to do, and I also have, because I think I have a vision. I always see a little bit further ahead than maybe other people do. So I feel like I see the road where I want to go, and that's just a natural, something that came to me very naturally. And I realized along the way, oh, I am an entrepreneur. This is actually, and then I also did more. I did some courses in the last couple of years and some to really even become a better business owner and learn more. And I love it. Yeah.
So tell me about your restaurant. And yeah, the name actually is great. So I would love you to tell our viewers about your restaurant. What did you choose that name and the
Yeah.
kind of food that you serve?
Gasolina Cafe is what we're called. Gasolina, at the time I was really, I love to ride motorcycles and two wheels as well. And then that feeling of, we just wanted to create a place where people can just feel good and free, but bring really good food and really good drinks, and but not in a stuffy atmosphere, not like white tablecloth, but more in the spirit of freedom and stuff. And then we were also thinking, good food and really a good coffee in the morning, it fuels you, and gasolina is fuel. So the idea is that our place is like fuel for your body and your soul. Yeah.
Beautiful. And what type of food do you serve?
So very heavily Spanish influenced, but then California has, the greatest produce all year round. So many amazing small farmers and ranchers, and there's really an abundance, and it's very pretty similar to Spain. So what you can get here, so like great olives, oranges, all these things, right? So it really just felt very natural to do a Spanish cuisine, but definitely with some California influences, and just my own influences from, being half Dutch and traveling. I really picked up a lot of different, ideas and flavors. So it's not typical typical Spanish. I take freedom to play with it, but take us maybe a traditional, like pulpo gallego. We make like a dish which is with the pulpo gallego, but I took the pulpo and put it with a salad and the potatoes and the things and the dressing. And I remember one time when I put a picture on Facebook, my family was like, ¿pero qué es eso? ¿Qué es, Sandra? Eso no es pulpo gallego. And I'm like, I know, but it's the idea of the pulpo made into something new and fresh, you know. So yeah, I love doing that. But we have a very traditional tortilla española, but I serve it with a salad, you know, which in Spain they wouldn't do. And pan tomate jamón, we do patatas bravas.
Qué rico. When I go to LA, I will be going to visit.
Yes, I would love that.
What is the biggest challenges that you have encountered being a restaurant owner? Because I know that it's not easy. We will go later a little bit with the challenges because of COVID. But now I want to know the challenges like an entrepreneurship to open a restaurant, to attract the clientele, to really tell the story that you want to tell. What is the challenges that you encounter?
Well, I think in the beginning when you're small, because I really bootstrapped, you know, we really bootstrapped we didn't have like huge investors behind us. It was really friends and family that helped us out and invested in us to open the restaurant. So it is really hard. I think especially for females is access to capital. As a restaurant, we are considered a very high risk. So the bank doesn't even want to touch us. Like, you know, like, no, you're a high risk. We don't. So access to capital, access to resources. When you're very small, you don't have a lot of buying power. So this can be a challenge too. And then finding good employees. You know, that is definitely key to any successful business, to build that team that believes in your vision, that believes in, you know, your core values and building that team. And yeah, that is hard. Then in California, like me personally, I had 2 fires, 2018, 2019, we were dealing with the fires.
Wow.
So that was, you know, then we have the natural disasters and what you're saying, this year going into COVID, that has definitely been very challenging.
And how COVID impacted your business?
COVID the pandemic has honestly decimated our industry. So many of my peers and small independent restaurants had to close their doors for good because of the lack of government support. Even if it came too late for many. They didn't act upon it quickly enough, I think. We are fighting, you know, the silver lining is that a lot of coalitions has come out of this, like the Independent Restaurant Coalition, and they started fighting for the smaller businesses and the smaller independent restaurants. But it's just been hard, you know, like 1 week they're like, you can be open 50%. And then literally you just hire back your team, prep the food, and they're like, oh, sorry, you have to close again. And just, you know, it's not just, oh, okay, we close the door and we wait. We have all this food that is perishable. There's all your staff, like the yo-yo of last year of open, close. And then, you know, the fear of the employees getting COVID too, and having, you know, to deal with the public, you know, people not wanting to wear masks or things, or, you know, so it's been really hard on our industry.
Definitely.
We are coming out now and, you know, trying to really stay positive and, you know, restaurateurs are people that like to get stuff done. So we know how to adapt quickly and come up with a lot of great ideas, you know, like we've been, like us personally, we started feeding the healthcare workers. So last year, my small staff of like literally 5-6 people, maybe sometimes back to 8, we did over 33,000 meals for hospital workers. We fed 9 different hospitals here in our area. So we could cook it, pack it, and deliver it. You know, so yeah, we we kept busy.
Definitely.
Yeah, but it's been hard. But we're hoping we were just allowed to open our patio back up.
Mm-hmm.
So we're hoping that this is the end, that the end is in sight, right?
Of
And
course.
yeah,
I think it's almost there. So we have to keep it up.
exactly.
One thing I really, really love is that, of course, you keep moving and creating ideas and ways to just take the best of it. And the idea of Rare Hair just came out from you. I think you are one of the founders, and I would love to know a little bit more about this organization. What do you do? How the idea came about?
Yeah. So we were starting with the help of the James Beard Foundation.
Mhm.
There was this thing called Let's Talk.
Yeah.
And it's like you and I right now, we would get women restaurateurs just on a Zoom call, and we started talking once a month. And then we had our LA chapter,
Mhm.
and we started talking, and it was getting really bad back in November. It was looking grim. We were being closed down again for the, I think, third time, and we were like, what are we going to do? And as I said, we are people that like to get things done. We don't like to sit and wait. So with 9 other female restaurateurs, all amazing women, we started regarding her. Lynn from All Day Baby came up with the name, and she got this amazing designer who did the logo, and she worked with her. And then we were like, yeah, let's do something. Let's get the women together in Los Angeles, and let's try to really help each other, support each other, try to uplift, because it'd been such a
Mhm.
dark year. Like it'd been
Yeah.
everything was so depressing. So we're like, let's do something to bring back some fun, even like something to be excited about, because everything was just about surviving. And we don't want to just survive, right? We want to thrive. And restaurateurs are the people who like to take care of others. So we said, let's do a festival, even if it's going to be challenging. And it was 10 days regarding her, because January is normally always a really bad month for restaurants,
Mhm.
because it's after, everybody spend their money, everybody's
Christmas.
going on a diet in January, save their money. So we're like, let's do something. So we got 95 restaurants in Los Angeles to join. There are members, and we all started doing collaborations. So one restaurant, we would do menus. One restaurant would do the appetizer, the other one the main, the other one the dessert. And then we had virtual conversations, again, like this, about different topics. We had, Gasolina Cafe did something with Rosso Blue, a pizza place. They gave us the pizza bottom, and we made a Spanish pizza. So it had chorizo, manchego, mushrooms, and it was beautiful. And then people can pick it up at their restaurant and here. So we started doing a lot of cross promotion like that. And also really showing off restaurants that, maybe weren't that known yet, and trying to get them publicity. And it really took off. It was wonderful. And I got to meet so many other restaurateurs in LA, all these beautiful women. And, this restaurant in Inglewood, she's telling me about her oxtail dish from Belize. And I
Wow.
was like, oh my God, delicious,
Yummy.
Yeah, and just hearing their stories, getting to know more women. And the idea of regarding her, the festival is done, and that was the first thing. But now we're really working on we now already have more than 220 members. So all female owned restaurants, or the chef, the executive chef being female. And we are now working on mentorship and really creating this network and trying to get resources. We have big plans.
Beautiful.
This is just the beginning. We're only, barely 3 months old, so we're still a baby, but we have big plans, and the 9 of us are really, it's amazing what we can do when we really get together and put all our strengths together,
Mhm.
and our wisdoms and all that, and really just sharing information has been so helpful. like, oh, have you looked into this? Have you looked into that? You know, oh, there's a new grant out you can apply for, or oh, I need a, you know, anything. And we're really trying to build that now for all our members, so we can have a strong network and group and really try to, you know, uplift, empower. Yeah.
I find it fascinating. So tell me, how do you do? Because I know that the requirements of time that to just handle a restaurant, being the chef, how do you combine that with your family? I mean, for a woman, it should be so much difficult because sometimes you work double shifts. You're working at home and you work also outside. So for you, how that works for you?
I feel guilty all the time.
Why?
That I'm not a good enough mom and not a good enough boss and not a good enough, you know, this is the truth. But I guess maybe that also drives me, trying to become better at all of it. I'm lucky my husband works from home. So
Okay.
he, you know, he's been able to really take care of our daughter, because I have a 9-year-old daughter, Matilda.
Yeah.
But he was actually gone last month. So I was taking her to work. She was doing school here in this office, you know, because they're on Zoom, dragging her along. You know, she spends some time here at work. She definitely complains, "Mommy, why are you on the computer again? Why are you, you know?" But we make it work, you know. But this is definitely something I hope to see some change in too, and I hope personally that this is we can make better for the next generation of restaurateurs and chefs, and to have better opportunities for, you know, for when you're pregnant and when you have the baby and all these things. For me, my career, I definitely had to stop for a little bit when I had Matilda, and I started doing my own catering and stuff, but there wasn't a lot of possibility in the industry when I was a, you know, a young mom. When I just had the baby, it was very hard because the jobs weren't able to accommodate anything, you know. So it's definitely something that I think why a lot of women are still behind in many industries, because there's, you know, there's very little support when we have a baby or when we have a family. And so this is definitely something that needs to get better, and that I'm hoping we can change. But it is really hard. It's also really hard as the business owner, and if you have a small business, to be able to, you know, it took me 5 years to give my employees health care, you know, which we were just able to do, and which was for me very important, because I feel like everybody should have health care.
Of course.
It's, you know, so, but these things are challenging as a business owner as well. And going through these challenges now and creating groups like Regarding Her and stuff, we can start having more conversations about this. And because of people like you bringing light to these situations, we need to have conversations about this so we can make change. So
that's exactly what we are all about. And talking about change, a lot of people discuss the fact that COVID is going to change also the way that we entertain ourselves. And if we continue to go to restaurants, if we will eat more at home. So what is the future that you envision for this industry?
I think, you know, the takeout model and eating at home was already growing a lot before COVID. But I do think people need to, what I'm envisioning, I mean, I'm hoping people need to still see that, you know, eating out and eating at a restaurant is something special, you know. And I think we start taking it for granted that everything, you know, is, so maybe people can realize this is, you know, like something. I feel like they should treat it as something a little bit more special. You know, like understand that there's a lot of love and passion that goes into this industry. Having a small restaurant is not, you know, like a ching chang moneymaker. And most people started because they, out of a passion and out of love. So, and also for the customers to really understand what food costs, what real food costs, you know, that there is a farmer, that there is a rancher, that there is, when you're paying, you know, $1 for your chicken, you really have to think, where does this chicken come from and how was it raised? Because like that's kind of impossible, you know. So I mean, this is a whole other subject we can go into with sustainability, and we need another interview for
And
that.
I would definitely gonna keep that in mind because I love that.
Yeah, but there is, you know, so just I don't know. I hope people are gonna the change. I do think, you know, if we look at the history and we look at the Spanish flu, there was the roaring 20s after that. So I do think people are going to really want to go out and really want to party when they can again, you know, and have.
I agree.
It's not the same. You know, we've done all the takeout food. It's not the same. I cannot give you the same. The experience is the whole experience, right? It's coming to our place, the decor, the music, the servers, and then the food, the plating, and then the taste. It's not only the taste in a container. It's never going to feel the same. So I think people are going to really want to have that experience again. But I hope they understand that to create an experience like that, a lot goes into it, and they have to hopefully appreciate it too, you know. And
I'm pretty sure that people appreciate that. I mean, I think that there is pleasure and excitement to go to a restaurant, to try new foods, and to just be in the atmosphere. Nothing could substitute that. So I agree with you. And just one last question. What is the star dish in your restaurant? Which thing I could not miss when I got to visit?
Ooh, well, I think in our daytime menu, oh, it's so hard. But we do the patatas bravas. We are, you know, people like, and we make a homemade brava sauce, aioli. Then we put jamon, chorizo, and an egg. So this is really like a good brunch, you know, American brunch dish that is that's, I would think it's our most popular. But also in about a couple of weeks, we're starting dinner. And even if it's not from my region, once I started cooking Spanish food, people were always asking me to cook paella. See my pants?
I see that. I am from Valencia, so paella is a serious business for me.
Yes. So I do paella too. I learned how to cook a paella because people are always like, you're Spanish, you have to cook paella. Okay, you know. So I do a lot of different kinds of paella. And I love to make, you know, not only the one de mariscos, but I do one de carne, de setas. We do the black squid ink with the sepia and the calamares. And I like to make a lot of different ones. So that's something that's going to be on our menu as a staple for the dinner. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of good dishes.
But just with what you explained so far, you give me gasolina already. So thank you, Sandra. It's been a pleasure. And obviously, there is another conversation about the food and where the food is coming from and how to be more sustainable and respectful with the planet and food. And it will be another conversation for us, okay? Thank you so much for your time. And I know that in LA, you just started. For me, it's almost lunchtime now. But thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Same.